so let's see what today's prompt is. Zombies. Nice. Let's do this. Hey everyone, and welcome to prompt number 2 of this 500 drawing prompt series. And I have to admit, when I saw this prompt, I got pretty damn excited. I love zombies, who doesn't? However, I didn't want to go the obvious route with zombie people, although the idea of drawing zombie babies did cross my mind briefly for whatever reason that we will leave for a future psychiatrist to figure out. Anyway, it has been super hot lately, which has prompted me to get out of the house more and enjoy nature on long walks with the dog and stuff like that. And the idea of doing plant-based zombies rushed into my mind and I just went with it. I imagine that this particular strain of zombism, the type that affects plants, would be a type of virus that gives life in a more human way, so it gives them human features such as eyes, emotions and mouths, but when it giveth, it also taketh away and turns them into mindless zombie-style plants that also have a hunger for brains. Or grains, haha. It's a stretch, but hey, that's the inspiration and we're gonna go with it. The first little sketch is inspired by Venus flytraps. I added some cute little eyes, and usually when I draw zombie humans or animals, I like to include bones poking out and skin peeling from them, so I kind of tried to incorporate that style into this little fella here, and it works a little. Like, imagine peeling a grape. That's the kind of thing I was going for on its head. I really like the idea that this particular plant was actually bitten on his pot, leading to the bite chunk missing with the leaky gravel. I really like the look of it. Now, whether he was bitten by another plant zombie or a human zombie, that's completely up to you to decide, and I'm gonna leave a poll so you guys can tell me what you think. Next, I obviously had to draw a cactus or a succulent. They are all the rage at the moment, and to be honest, I like it. Cacti are cute, and the idea of a living dead one that not only is painful to touch, could also bite you would be adorable. Like, imagine those little glass containers of cacti all moaning at you from your bougie coffee tables and desk displays. It would be so cute. Of course, his bite was a lot more blatant and it took his brain, but I like to think this made his personality a little slower and his groans a lot deeper, kind of like a kind of zombie, if you know what I mean. The next 2 drawings are plant Pokemon turned zombie, and I have to admit, I really love the way the victory bell turned out especially. He is complete with a bite chunk missing on his bottom, which would have the green goop, which I imagine is inside him, flowing out as a puddle beneath him. And it would be even cooler if I had glow-in-the-dark paint, because that would be so cool to make glow from within, like he was radioactive in some kind of way. But I didn't, but that would have been cool. He also has withered leaves on his head, which have been reduced to mainly stem and leaf innards, which are called midriffs and veins, and yeah, I had to look that up. He also has one eye that has kind of fallen out already and hanging by a strand of what I like to imagine some really thick leaf vines. I also added some extra teeth because the zombie virus would probably include a few mutations on the way. Nothing is perfect in nature. The next Pokemon I tried to infect was this little Oddish, and man, this was the worst of all the sketches. He just looks awful and so derpy. I hate it so much. But I tried adding more of that peeling flesh on him with some kind of leafy bone-like structure within him, kind of like tree roots or something like that, which is exposed at his feet and face. I didn't really go too much into it because I just hated the drawing. It just doesn't work. I also made his hair leaves all withered and dry. I liked the look of the withered and dry leaves, but I didn't like the Oddish, so I didn't like the drawing overall. The last sketch was more experimenting with the virus. I thought it would be a cool idea if the pot that the plant was in became a part of them. So this one, for example, had the pot become his mouth, which would be like sharp and scary and made a really cool like clattering noise, like 2 plates being hit together. It kind of reminds me of mimics from D&D now that I look at it. This weird little succulent had its leaves become tentacles and lots of eyes popping up from within it. Again, another mutation. However, with this drawing, I felt like I was losing the zombie theme a bit too much with this one and it turning more into just mutants, which I don't mind so much as it was expanding my imagination for future projects. But for this, I wanted it to be a little more zombie-esque. So for my main piece, I decided to go for the cute little scene of succulents and cacti, each of them being at a different phase of having the virus. The one on the left having been bitten only a few hours ago, being in a state of halfway infected. The one in the middle has been a zombie for about an hour or two, I reckon. However, he isn't fully mobile yet and his functions are slow as he was bitten in the head. So he is in a state of derp, drooling and shambly and slow. And lastly, the one on the right has been a zombie for over 24 hours. His roots are fully functional and he is able to now crawl from his pot and run amok, biting at people's ankles and such, dragging himself along with his roots. So I figured that for best practice, drawing 3 types of plant would be most effective in improving my skills, as I have to admit, plants are not my strong suit. I still like to draw trees like speech bubbles with forks coming out of them. So admittedly, the overall way that these turned out actually surprised me. I really like them and I think they look super cute and kind of spooky, which is what I'm totally into. I didn't want the whole piece to look too mishmash though, so decided to put them in colour matching pots with only slight variations in shades of green tones to their skin or flesh or whatever you call it, adding different textures, lines and details afterwards for much better effect. I really like the withered leaf colours on the succulent on the left, as it looks like the virus has affected him differently, maybe even worse, showing how maybe some plants don't survive the infection. Maybe as the soil has been spilled before the virus could fully catch hold, he will die, as maybe the plant needs the soil to survive the infection and turn into the zombie plant. Who knows? I quite liked adding the darker and patchy layers of watercolour on top of the initial layer of paint to create these what I like to imagine green sores and bubbly blisters. Like human zombies, they are essentially dead and rotting from within, so mould, soft spots and bruises are a must and definitely needed to be included. And I think it makes them look a lot spookier and more zombie-like, definitely. I didn't get much footage after this point, just a little of the right succulent. However, I decided at the last minute to add thicker lines around the outside of the drawings to really make them pop and stand out, and I'm so glad I did. It just makes them look a lot more eye-catching against the white background. It makes them stand out and be more cartoony, and I just like the overall look really. So overall, really love the look of this piece and would love to get them made into postcards or prints. I'm just really proud of this one. What do you guys think? There is another poll for you. I was considering putting in some text of them saying maybe grains, like brains. It's kind of unoriginal, I know, but if you have any suggestions on what they would say, leave a comment down below and maybe I'll add it. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, if you're drawing along with these prompts, tweet me a pic and I will feature it in my next video. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye!